Webheads, comic book fans, prepare because your wallet is going to hurt this week. This is my top 10 most anticipated comics for April 27th, 2022. It's never too early to start your pull list for next week, and hopefully this list helps you make decisions on what comic books to buy. Guys, I'm Mike Spiderslayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. This is a huge week. You're not going to want to miss the books that I talk about this week, Webheads. Not only do I have my hot seat, the book that's on the rise, the top 10, but I'm giving you additional books that are getting ready to come out so you don't miss out. You might still have a chance to put these books on your pull list. This is the biggest week that I have seen in comics in quite some time. So let's get started here. Let's not waste any more time. Kicking it off with the hot seat. The hot seat goes to Knights of X. This is issue 1, brand new number 1 from the X office here that has to do with Betsy Braddock. This is 36 pages, and this is a $5 comic book. This has to do more with like King Arthur lore, and I'm going to give it a try. I have been very disappointed with X books as of late, but this might have to do with something a little bit different characters, so we'll see where it goes. The cover looks pretty cool. I don't know, we'll check it out, but if it's not good, I'll drop it too. Next is the book that's on the rise. People should be reading this if you're into Image Comics and their superhero universe, and it kind of crosses over a little bit with the Radiant Black universe as well. This is Rogue Sun issue 3. This is a great story about a son who, by the name of Dylan, who inherits his dad's powers but doesn't want them, and he makes a deal with his dad where he says, you know what, I'm going to do this mission, but you know, I don't want you tagging along with me. If I do this mission, you gotta leave me. It's like this AI that's implanted in his armor, and his dad is like dead. Kind of has a feel of like Batman Beyond, Batman, stuff like that, but it's a great series, well written book, nice artwork, and I can't wait to see where this book goes. So this is definitely something that you guys can probably check out. So this one is 32 pages and this one is $4. So now we officially count down, kicking it off with number 10. I'll get to the other books once we pass my number 1 most anticipated comic, but man, for this book to be number 10, it says something, right? Rogues issue 2. This was done by the DC Black Label, and this had the Rogues coming together to do one last mission to invade Gorilla Grodd's island so they can steal this treasure. It's non-traceable and whatnot, and they can get rich and live happily ever after, because the reason why they're doing this mission is this is set far into the future where they tried being good, they tried doing the right thing, and they're just getting laughed at, humiliated, and they want to go on and do this, you know, last issue. The first issue introduced the team members that are part of the team, and we got them together, and now the mission is going to start in this issue 2. I loved issue 1. I thought it was very well done. The big turnoff for this book for a lot of people is that it's its magazine format. I know a lot of people don't like that, but you know what? Those pages really jump out at you. So if you are going to pick up this book in this heavy week, this is a 48-page comic book, $7. Coming in at number 9, this is another book I really enjoyed. This is Carnage issue 2. This was just like a detective story. He winds up mass murdering this people. Kind of reminded me of Seven. He idolized Carnage, and he was hoping to bond with the character, but Carnage has found a way to bond with Hydro Man by using his hydro molecules. So technically he doesn't need a host, but he likes the idea of this guy kind of tagging along with him to see what he does. Really good book, man. Very creepy, has that horrific feel to it. Definitely recommend this. 28 pages, $4. Coming in at number 8. Finally, maybe this book might actually come out. And I just want to let you guys know, this is still a week out before all these books are coming out. So things could still change at the last minute where these books could get delayed. So this one goes to TMNT. The Last Ronin, issue 5. So after tons of delays and months later, hopefully we're getting the continuation of The Last Ronin, issue 5. We have Michelangelo, who's trying to defeat the great-grandson of the Shredder and whatnot, or the grandson of the Shredder. I don't even know what this book is about anymore because I haven't read it in so long. All I know is we have one turtle that's left. He's trying to, defeat the Shredder's grandson, and then we have Casey's daughter that's running around with him as well. Awesome artwork. When the book comes out, it's phenomenal. I have a feeling, though, when I get this book, I might not read it until all the issues come out and then read it all at once again, because it's just been ridiculous, the delay that is going on with this. But this is 48 pages, guys. 48 pages, $9. And we have so many more books to talk about. All right, coming in at number 7. This was delayed by a week, and now it's coming out this week. We have Demons, issue 2, done by Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. First issue was really good about these Halo people and these Horn people as they invaded Earth way back in the day, and the Halos infected people to do good, and these Horn people affected other people to do bad. It's basically a story of light and dark, and we got introduced to our main character by the name of Lame, and she's basically getting powers now to defeat these bad dark creatures, right? It seems like a story that you've read before, but man, the way it was told in the last issue, it was really, really good, man. And it had me hooked by the time I got done with it. And it was oversized. There was a lot of dialogue, but it didn't seem boring. It was a page turner. And this one is 32 pages, and this one is $5. Continuing on. For number 6, for this book to fall number 6, and it's crazy, dude. Okay, Gunslinger Spawn issue 7. So if you have not jumped on Gunslinger Spawn yet, this is probably the time to do it, because this is a new story arc. In the last issue, you got to see Gunslinger get the upper hand over Clown, and the way he did it was absolutely awesome. Gunslinger is probably the most relatable Spawn character to all of the Spawn characters. He's weak, he's like a cowboy, but he's very cunning at the same time, and that's what makes him awesome. And the artwork in this book is top-notch artwork, guys. It's done by Brett Booth. You can't deny the artwork. The storytelling by Todd McFarlane's really good here. This is a must-read. 24 pages, and this is going to save you a little bit. This is a $3 book. Move on to number 5. All of these books I'm mentioning, a lot of them would be like number 1, number 2 in any given week. That's why these past couple of weeks have sucked with books, because all the great books are coming out this particular comic book week. So number 5 is Something is Killing the Children, issue 22. So issue 21 was the re-release of the series. We were on hiatus. We got very little of Erica Slaughter. We got introduced to a new female who just witnessed her parents, her grandmother or grandfather got killed, and we got to see the killer, which we think, at the very last minute, and it looked very creepy. It was like some dude that had like a shoulder that opened up and an eyeball was popping out of it. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this thing, but it was very creepy. And Erica Slaughter shows up at the last page and it's like, need some help? Yeah, man. I mean, great cliffhanger. Can't wait to see where this story has to offer for its readers. And I love the last issue. This one is $4. Number 4 on this countdown. And this book would be number 1 in probably any other week, because I love the first issue so much. And this goes to Punisher issue 2. Jason Aaron writes this book, and let me tell you, everyone was very on the fence about this book, about this new Punisher who doesn't use guns. You know, why is he joining the Hand? There's no reason why he should join the Hand. He should save Frank Castle, the gun shooter. He's going to be a pussy. He's not going to do anything right. And sure enough, he comes out freaking sword swinging, cutting people's heads off, doing all the same stuff that he did, but there was a motive there. And this is a spoiler in case you haven't read the book. But the reason why he joined the Hand is because they promised to resurrect his wife. And at the end of the book, you wind up seeing him in bed with his wife once again. And the cool thing is that when he's in his little dojo, you get to see his chest plate with his skull on it, the original skull, and you still get to see all his guns hanging up. So he doesn't forget who he is at his core. But for right now, this is what he represents. And as long as his wife is alive, he must do battle with the Hand. And the Hand wants him to be this master killer or whatever. But my God, such a great book. And the artwork was really well done too. Can't wait to read this issue. 36 pages, $5. Coming in at number 3. This one goes to Dark Knights of Steel issue 6. So we're at the halfway point now when it comes to Dark Knights of Steel. We got 6 more issues left. And in the last issue of this book, we've gotten to see Batman and Superman go their separate ways. I won't spoil what happens, but I got some fuzz in my mouth. Ugh. Anyway, I won't spoil what happened in that last issue, but let me tell you, I knew it was going to happen eventually just because of Batman and Superman's relationship altogether in general. But what they did in that last issue was just jaw-dropping, and Tom Taylor does a great job in this Elseworld story at making things unpredictable. There's always something big that happens, but you just can't pick out what is going to happen. The villain in this book was introduced a couple issues, which was really interesting. We get this version of Supergirl, who's just off the chain. Just so well done. Artwork is absolutely gorgeous. If you have not read Dark Knights of Steel, I don't know if you're going to be able to get back issues at this point, because I feel like this is a very good selling book. However, when it does come out in trade, that's when you're going to want to read this. And I promise you, once you read it, you're not going to want to put it down. Great book, 32 pages, $4. All right, coming in at number 2. Now, a lot of people, regardless, you might hate this, you might love this, you could be anticipating this, but I know deep down inside, a lot of people are going to pick up this book, and this is Justice League issue 75, The Death of the Justice League, because people are going to want to know what happens to the Justice League. Obviously, there's been hints and things like that on who's going to take over for them for a little while, and when this all takes place, and what's going to be the outcome of this, and the Dark Crisis thing, and if Discovery and Warner are merging together, which they already have, but if this is going to change the outcome of DC in the future, like, this book could mean a lot of things. How it's presented to its readers, if it means anything, all that stuff, again, is still to be determined. Obviously, you know, when you hear the death of something, we don't take it as seriously as we once did when the death of Superman happened. But this is the Justice League. This is like everybody. So I'm curious, like, how this actually happens. So, final issue of the series in general. We're not going to have a Justice League book now either. So we just got canceled, like Green Lanterns. I think Aquaman are leaving. Now you got Justice League that's gone. We are really getting to bare bones when it comes to DC Comics just in general. Hopefully with this merger, things will change. We'll get new books with different characters. And this is 48 pages, and this one is $6. Okay, guys. And now coming in at number 1, but don't forget, after I announce this number 1 book, I have a lot of other books that I'm going to be showing off that are coming out. And number 1, finally, is the release of The Amazing Spider-Man issue 1, dubbed by Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. We, as Spider-Man fans, have been waiting for this re-release for a long time. New volume. People are always pissed off about volumes starting over with new number 1s. I understand that. There's always the legacy numbering on the bottom of the book or somewhere in the book. You still have your original numbering, right? So don't get too stressed out about that. I understand why they say it's a new number 1, because it shows people maybe they can jump on at this point. It's easier, I guess, that way. I don't know. But when it comes to this, I am hoping that Zeb Wells can tell a wonderful story when it comes to his run on The Amazing Spider-Man. I hope he's on it for a long time. And what he wrote in the Beyond storyline, his particular issues were really well done. I enjoyed them. So I am cautiously optimistic when it comes to the Amazing Spider-Man. I can say that I was upset with Dan Slott's run, but when I look at Dan Slott's run compared to Nick Spencer's run, I think I actually like Dan Slott's run more. I think he actually accomplished more. He came up with the Superior Spider-Man story, Red Goblin story. There was a lot of stories there where Nick Spencer didn't really changed all that much, except he introduced Kindred, got a couple people back in the mix of the supporting cast, and then when it came to Beyond, that was just basically to introduce some new villains and get us to a certain point. And now here in Amazing Spider-Man, the next volume, let's see what we have, right? I guess supposedly something bad happens to Peter and the dude can't catch a break. It looks like he's going to be at odd ends with MJ. So I don't know. But when you follow legacy numbering in this book, it's 895. And it's 52 pages. It's not overly expensive for a new number one with 52 pages. And this one is $6. The amount of variants for this book is absolutely insane. You could get a short box just for those variants. Here are the books now that I did not list on my top 10. Now, some of these books would have been on the top 10, but I just put them together to make it easier. So the first one here is the Naughty List issue 1, done by Aftershock. This is about like an evil Santa Claus. You better not be on his naughty list or he'll kill you. I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. Looks pretty cool. The next one is G.I. Joe Saturday Morning Adventures issue 3. If you love old school G.I. Joe and you love that animation, it's all in here in that book. All your characters act exactly that way. They look that way. It's a great story with Cobra Commander in possession of the genie of the lamp. And he's got 3 wishes. It's awesome. Next, we have Silver Surfer Rebirth. This is issue 4. Continuing that story with the Jack of Hearts being one of the main villains here, who steals the reality stone. Who steals the reality stone and gives it to its boss. We don't know who the main enemy is in this book, but it's been a very entertaining read. I've enjoyed it. Brings me back to a simpler day of Marvel Comics. Next, we have some Bat books I'm going to talk about. The next one is Batman Beyond the White Knight. This is issue 2. Phenomenal first issue with Bruce Wayne breaking out of jail. We get Terry McGinnis in possession of the Batman Beyond suit. It's a super suit, and he feels like no one can wear that suit, and that's why Bruce Wayne got out of jail. We're getting a new Jason Todd spin-off book from this series, and there's going to be a new Robin attached to Jason Todd, which is going to be really cool. Next, we have The Joker, issue 14. I think there's one more issue after that from what I heard until this first season ends. I'm just looking forward to this concluding. I've read all these issues up to this point. I'm vested, so I need to see how this whole thing finishes off. Next, we have Deathstroke Incorporated. This is issue 8. This continues the Shadow War. This is part 3. And then followed up by that, like I said, if this comes out at the same time, Robin issue 13. This is Shadow War part 4. Part 2, we got to see Talia and Batman kind of hook up. I mean, and they're dealing with the ramifications of the death of Ra's al Ghul. So we'll see how this continues. Next, we have Detective Comics issue 1059. So I think we're starting a new story arc with this going on since the Shadows of the Bat thing ended, or yeah, that's what it was called. So we have that going on, and we're getting a new creative team on Detective soon. So very excited about that. Then we have couple independents here. We have Berserker issue 8, the Keanu Reeves book, where we basically get like a modern day Wolverine that's been alive forever, and they're trying to use his body for science experiments and to create super soldiers and stuff like that. Really interesting book. And last but not, oh no, we still have more. We have Saga issue 58. This continues that story. I really enjoy Saga. It's a fun read. This is a book you really should read from the very start. And then we have Thor issue 750, another milestone issue. So this is a funeral of the Allfather. So if you read the previous story arc, you witnessed Thor's father died. So we get to see the funeral here. And there you guys have it. There are all the books that I will be picking up that particular comic book week. You saw the 10 that I'm most anticipating, the others that I'm picking up. It's coming out to about 25 plus books. There are more out there. These are just the ones that I'm buying. So very curious to hear what you guys are picking up this week and what your priorities are and what you're budgeting and stuff like that. So guys, if you love this video, you know what you got to do. I'll leave you more content right here. In fact, this is my top 10 comic book covers of the week, where you can vote on your favorite comic book cover of the week. And until then, guys, keep buying, keep collecting, but most importantly, keep reading your comics. Thank you so much, guys.